from Las Vegas, the entertainment, music, and sports capital of the world, it's the JJ and Johnny Show.
Hey. Welcome to episode 13 of the JJ and Johnny Show with special guest Christina Shaw. I'm JJ back in studio.
Woo-hoo.
Hey. Welcome to the all girls episode. Why? Because Johnny's away, so the girls will play. So welcome, guys. Thanks for joining me.
I'm back. So exciting.
I love that you're here because I had a great time in Canada last week watching you in this little studio space, and you and Johnny had a lot of fun. So
We had a
now
blast.
I get to have fun with Christina.
Woo woo. We're here. Let's do it.
We're doing this today with tea. We decided we'd spill the tea for episode 13.
Ooh.
Cheers.
Cheers, girls. Cheers.
Cassie also has a wonderful, beautiful yellow teacup.
Yes, I do.
These are from my collection. I have, I don't know, about 30 teacups. I collect them.
Do you really?
I collect them from around the world. Everywhere I go, every gig I go on, I get a teacup from that city.
That's so neat.
Yeah, and I have them. I have like a beautiful display on my wall, and then I also have them on top of my cabinets.
Yeah.
And then people gift them to me, which is great. I can't say no to a good gift, but I'm like, I have so many, but thank you. But it's like a tradition of mine. Everywhere I go, I have to get one, and I can't tell you where these are from because I have them all written down. I should have before, because I usually take a picture of exactly where I got each one from.
May I just turn this over and see if there's any indication of where it might be from?
Probably not. Some I love going to like.
It is dishwasher safe.
Oh, okay. Well, then
which
that
is good in a tea plate.
That means it's probably from like Home Goods or something. No.
Yeah, right.
But no, I try to find like vintage stores where any city I'm at. Oh my gosh, and it's so fun to just go through there and find like the oldest, coolest looking.
I bet
unique.
you sometimes you find like a set, or if you found 6 or 8 of them, would you buy all of them?
No, I usually just buy
want
one.
the individual.
Which I hate taking them from the set. That's the sad thing. But
Yes,
it's cool that.
it's true.
But it is cool that each one is going to a different part of the country or the world. Who knows where it's going? So it's kind of cool. I try to just find the one piece that I like to get. But anyway, that's my
neat.
teacup. We have a passion fruit black tea.
We
this
do.
morning.
It's delicious. Thanks for bringing it. So
Yes,
many
it's
people
lovely.
collect things. I have a cousin who collects things that are pig oriented. And that's the thing. Once people know that you, like my cousin Marissa loves pigs. So once people know you like pigs, then it's kind of over. Because every holiday, every birthday, or every chance, oh, I just picked this up for you.
Oh, another pig.
Yes. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I
To
feel
add
about
to the
my
collection.
To add to great, thank you.
So you have to be really careful what kind of collections you start. I don't.
Do you collect anything?
Well, I got really in during the pandemic. We all got a little weird, right? And I started collecting Fenton glass. Do you know what that is? Because it's actually kind of ties into the kind of person who would appreciate nice china would appreciate Fenton glass. So Fenton is an American company. I think they started making glass bowls, vases, cups in maybe the late 1800s. It's based in the Midwest, the company. And if you think of like your grandmother or your great grandmother, how she would have like a candy bowl, and it would be a beautiful glass, and maybe the glass was like deep
Red.
amber or red.
Yes.
That's Fenton glass.
Oh, kind of like milk glass. Remember?
It
milk?
is.
Yes.
It is milk glass
Yes.
sometimes. Yes.
Okay, and or
Sometimes
like,
it's hobnail with all the little
with the
the little circles on it.
yes.
the little dots.
Okay, I know this. Oh, that's cool.
Yes. I got really into it on eBay. And then I started
eBay, I love it.
Well, it was like a perfect pandemic thing. And then I get these
Right.
little, packages from like, someone's farm in Kentucky.
Oh,
and
I love
I'm like,
that.
how long was this sitting in that person's house?
You need to go to vintage places and find that stuff in
Yes.
the vintage shops because it's so fun.
I love a good vintage store.
Oh, same,
By the way,
same.
if you're watching
Anyway,
on
hi.
Johnny's channel, Christina Shaw and I have taken over, and producer Cass, of course. This is the all girls episode.
girls.
We're already talking about tea and collectibles, so if you've just joined us, I'm sorry. But today,
I'm not.
today it's going to be like just a big
Cheers.
load of estrogen.
Yes.
But then later on in the show, we have 2 guests joining us. We have Johnny popping in from Manhattan.
Yay!
He's there on a work trip right now. He's going to pop in. And then a good friend of yours here in Las Vegas.
Yes, Mr. Kenny Davidson is going to join us, which I know on this podcast we talk about very fun things that Vegas has to offer, and I have an awesome place to tell you guys about. Should we do that now or later?
Well, let's give like a little teaser because so Kenny Davidson, I don't believe I've ever interviewed him, but I definitely know his name because he's one of the local entertainers that's part of the community here in Vegas, and he's very established and he's excellent at what he does.
Yes, he is amazing, and he's one of my best friends.
Is he really?
Yes. Yes, and we also do a fantasy football podcast together as well, which I want to tell you guys about too later on in our episode.
Well, it's perfect timing for that as everyone starts to look at their fantasy football leagues and building their teams, and you're doing 5 this year.
I have 5 leagues, and Kenny has 100 leagues. And wait, did you tell me yesterday that? Yes, he has 100 leagues. Yes.
That's a full-time job.
Oh no, it 100% is. Yes, he's mad.
Has he turned this into a super lucrative thing?
Yeah,
Because
I mean, he enjoys it, but he also makes some money off of it too, I'm sure.
does anyone else have 100 leagues out there?
Probably not.
Yeah,
Probably, he's very good at it, and he loves it.
I love that he's doing that. That's kind of like a brilliant hybrid lifestyle here in Las Vegas. So you're like entertainer, right, in the evenings.
Football hustler.
Football hustler by day.
Yes.
I love it.
And did I hear that you did a fantasy football
I did my
team?
first, so I'm a newbie. I'm only on my second year.
So you're going to do it again this year?
I'm going to do it again this year. Yeah, but I'm going to get, you know what it is I didn't, kind of like any rookie, it's like, it's all about the team and the mentorship that you have. I didn't really plug into the people I know around me enough with questions. I felt like I was guilty, having my first fantasy league. I felt like I should understand more of what was going on. So I didn't ask as many questions as I actually had. Like even when I drafted at the very beginning, I was like, I don't know. I need a bunch of running backs. I don't know. So, you know what I mean?
Well, you need to listen to our podcast this year.
Yes.
And then you can get in on all the inside scoops and the rookies and how to draft and which players to draft first. And
Maybe I should do that.
it's called Our Vegas Fantasy. And
Vegas
our
Fantasy.
friend Johnny Katz, Johnny Katz,
Yeah.
he helped us name the show.
No way.
Yeah, so he was
Oh my gosh, great.
He was,
Part of the impetus?
Yes. He
Yeah.
was like,
He helped you launch?
here's your name. We were like, this is the best name ever. So, yeah.
And when did you start it?
We started it, so we're on season 5, but we started
Ooh.
it 7 years ago because,
Wow.
well, here's the thing. We skipped a couple years because both of the babies that I had were in August. So I literally had newborn babies, and I was like, I cannot do the podcast this year. So in 2021.
You're like, I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah, so 2021 and 2023, we did not do the podcast. I still did my fantasy leagues, of course. I was like, had the newborn, like, drafting my fantasy football leagues, which was great. But we did not do the podcast. But so this is season 5 that we're on now, and we have so much fun.
Cool.
And the cool thing is about the podcast is, yes, we talk about fantasy football, but we also, since Kenny is a piano player here in Las Vegas, and he has his own show at the Tuscany, we implement a lot of songs and funny skits into the podcast. So we have songs for, for instance, this week we have Draft 'em or Pass 'em. So we have a list of rookies, and we go down the list of rookies. We have a Draft 'em or Pass 'em song. So that the song starts off the segment.
Oh, you guys are making it so much fun.
It's so fun. So it's funny, and then during the season, we have different songs for. Let's see, we have After Midnight, like the players that we pick up after midnight. We have songs for different segments that we do, which makes it so funny, and we make up all the songs. And
it's fun. Cass, do you have a fantasy football league?
I don't. I've heard of, a lot of people that do it. I've had friends that do it, but I'm not too much into football. So I don't really know where to start. It sounds like it's a lot of fun, but I've never done it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great question. And maybe you can school me since I've been through just my first season of it. Where do you recommend that brand new folks start if they're interested in jumping on this year? Because there's still time.
Oh yeah, there's definitely this right now. These next 2 weeks is when everyone starts drafting. So if you're not into football, I would say start familiarizing yourself with the players because there are so many players, and the best way to do that is a podcast. Obviously, you can listen to our podcast, Our Vegas Fantasy. There's a podcast on CBS called Fantasy Football Today, which I like because sometimes there's new players that come in and I don't even know the names of them yet because it's still the first season, or that's the first first couple weeks.
Their first season,
and
yeah.
it's their first season.
So you're looking at their collegiate careers.
Yes.
And you're looking, you have certain states. Do you gravitate towards, I feel like there's the potential for like a lot of just personal bias. Like I found myself gravitating towards certain players because they have great stories. Or, I mean, we all have our favorite teams, right?
Are you a football fan?
I'm primarily, honestly, I think basketball and hockey are my first sports. Like, I love watching live basketball.
Oh, it's
just my jam.
Yes.
Yeah. Even more exciting now that I have this incredible women's team to watch here in Las Vegas, the Aces. But I like the whole culture around football. Like, and I've said this a lot, but I love to have a football game on at my house, have people over, and I love the beer and the chili and like the whole tradition around it.
Yes.
Like the fall weather, like I love all of that.
Yes.
But if you really had to press me, I'd say like I'm a Seahawks fan because I'm from Washington State.
Okay, all right.
It was easier to be a fan a few years ago, not doing so well right now. Well, but anyway.
Well, this is when so you have your team, so you know Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet. You start to know some of those running backs, some of those quarterbacks. So you can start there, and then you can start learning maybe from your division because you know the players in the West.
Right.
In the West,
okay,
you start to know
sense.
that.
Yeah.
So the more, and I highly recommend the NFL Red Zone if you're not familiar with that. It basically goes through all of the football games on Sunday. So you sit in front of the TV at 10 a.m. and it gives the highlights as they're happening. It is so entertaining. Scott Hansen sits at a desk for 8 hours and just literally goes through every single game. As it happens.
It's unbelievable.
Have
I
you
feel like
watched
sports broadcasting. I've only seen parts of it. I've never. Have you watched it for 8 hours?
Oh yes.
Wow.
It's actually
like
7.
committed.
Isn't it 7?
She's so committed.
7 hours. 7 hours. I'm
Yes.
sorry. 7 hours of commercial-free football starts now. I get so hyped. I'm
my God.
I am ready for football. I love how this is a girls' episode and we're talking.
Yeah, we're talking about football.
I'm gonna bring in
love
a
it.
couple comments real
Do it.
quick for you guys. Mr. Robbie wants some clarification on Kenny's leagues. Is it 100 leagues or 100 teams?
Well, it's pretty much the same thing.
Is it the same? Because he also said, wouldn't 100 leagues mean there are at least 2,500 teams? That seems impossible to manage.
No, so he's creating 100 different leagues that he's betting on, like teams that he's betting on.
Teams, yes.
Teams. Got it. Okay.
So Mr. Robbie, maybe I said leagues because I think of
Gotcha.
one fantasy league that he's creating.
Yeah, so there's one,
Right.
there's a league, and in that league, there's anywhere from 8 to 14 players that you play against. And with fantasy
It's all
football,
NFL, so.
yeah, and with fantasy football, you pick your players that you want to be on your team of that league of 8 to 14 players.
If you have 5 different teams that you're putting together this year, how do you kind of place an identity on each one of those teams? So do you have a different strategy with each team?
Yes, you can have a different strategy, but it's also different draft positions that you draft in. So you can be the number one pick.
Yes.
Is it all coming back to you now?
Yes.
You could be the
Okay.
number 1 pick, or you
maybe
could be
you're
the number
down at
12
Yeah,
pick. So if
right.
you're the number 1 pick, you're going to take Christian McCaffrey.
I think I was like 8 or 9.
Right. So that
Okay,
will
yeah.
kind of dictate how your team is going to go if you want to
Right.
take a running back or a wide receiver first. If you
Yeah.
want to go wide receiver heavy and take 2 wide receivers back to back, or you can take 2 running backs back to back, or you can take 1 of each, or you can just go and take a quarterback. Take the best
Right.
quarterback that you think.
Which in my league I played in last year, I was down at Circa, and we had just a women of fantasy sports. It seemed
I need
like
to be in this.
Yes, you do. I will get you connected. And that it seemed like that the women, maybe we can partner in it. Hey, now we're thinking.
I like this.
That's how the rookie's gonna learn.
See, yes.
Go in with the pro.
Yes, that's what you need.
Bam.
You need a help. I feel like for your
I
first,
did.
you need somebody to
did.
help you.
Yeah,
And
because
to explain things.
a couple of my friends who participated also had like silent partners, people who were actually advising. No, it was okay. It was allowed.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, well, you got to use the advice of the people around you.
Right.
Did someone
to
help
learn.
you get in? Are you just naturally like extremely curious about football? How did you?
A little bit of
First
both.
enter
I
fantasy.
love football in general, but
Yep.
I'm from Philadelphia, so my team is the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm all about the Eagles. When you get into fantasy football, you start to learn about other teams and other players. I started fantasy football, I think in 2009.
Yeah, that's pretty early.
It was a long time ago. And,
Yeah.
and my boyfriend at the time showed me how to do it, showed me how to draft, showed me the players. And at first, I'm like, I don't know who these players are. But then when you have your players, you know you're rooting. You want to watch, Tony Pollard
Yep.
on
It gives you a personal connection.
right.
That's
And you're
so
like,
cool.
I want to watch this
Yeah.
Cowboys game because I want to cheer on my player, Tony
Skin
Pollard.
in the game.
Right.
So have you had
So it's so
anything
fun.
super unusual? Because obviously you're always on alert for any of your players getting injured. Have
That's
you,
the hardest part.
What is one of the strangest things you've had happen with a player either having to drop out or like what kind of things have you had happen over the last couple of years?
The things that are very unfortunate is when you don't know if a player is playing when you're starting at 10 a.m. It's like if there's a 1 p.m. game or the second set of games and you don't know if your running back's going to play at that 1 p.m. game, you're like, well, what do I do? Do I keep him in or do
Right.
I find somebody off the bench? Do I find someone on the waiver wire, which we have a waiver wire song too, about waiver wires who you can pick up every week. So it's constantly changing. And I feel like that's one of the hardest things about fantasy football because obviously fantasy football is fun. It's a fun hobby, but we also have lives. And sometimes it's like, I don't have time to see how many of these players are injured and how many of these players are, and that's one of them.
So you need your shortcuts, like your great sources of information.
Apps. I
Yeah.
know Kenny, which maybe he can explain to us. He has an app where literally they come in. Yes! Fly Eagles fly! Woo woo!
Oh my
Yay!
gosh! I almost talked about, so this is a friend of mine from Los Angeles, a former producer I used to work with. Annie, I was thinking of you when she said she was an Eagles fan. Annie McGruddy, one of the hugest Eagles fans on the face of the earth.
Yes, Annie.
Yes.
Hi,
Yes, yes.
nice to meet you.
There you go.
Oh
Thanks
my
for
gosh.
being here, Annie.
Yes. Oh, not meet you. Virtually
That's
chat
right.
with you.
That's right. That's right. How are the Eagles forecasted to do this season?
I don't
What's
know.
new? We don't know.
We will
Okay.
see. We
Okay.
will see. We started last season. We started off strong. We were like the best team in the league, and then we lost like bad toward the end of the year. Just lose. L. It was hard to be an Eagle. It was really great
hurts.
to be an Eagles fan, and then it was really crappy to be an Eagles fan. But that's fine. Everything's fine. New season. Here we go. Let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
do it. So excited. Are you doing your
love this time
fantasy
of year.
football draft again this year? Are you doing it this year?
I am still locking in whether or not I'm going to do it at Circa or outside of that, Women of Fantasy invite at Circa. So I'm kind of testing the waters again. But honestly, talking to you about it just makes me feel excited about it. Taking the small amount of knowledge that I did learn last year and plugging it in this year. I mean, it's a growth process unless you grew up around it,
Right.
Or you're just a massive football fan anyway.
And
I
every
feel like
year
it
you'll
takes
learn.
some
Yeah.
learning.
Yes, you'll
Yeah.
learn every year. You'll learn more and more about the players, and then you'll get more into it, and then it's like, so then you can't wait for it.
Yes.
Then you're gonna have 100 leagues like Kenny does.
He must be okay. The people I know who are like Kenny, who are into it that much, are math geeks.
Oh yes.
Is he a numbers person?
Yes, he's a
Okay.
number.
Yeah.
I mean, you can literally throw at any player, and he is so intelligent and remembers so many things about football and just sports in general. He is just like any sports
Makes
question.
sense because he's such a prolific musician.
Yes.
Actually, that the mind of a musician would then
Carry
be
over
able to carry over.
It's
yeah.
insanity. So yeah, he knows about everything, all the players. All
Hey, speaking of other entertainers, though, I want to shine a spotlight on Christina once again. So Christina's an amazing performer. We're so blessed to have her here in Las Vegas. A good friend of my co-host, John D. Domenico, who may be joining us from Manhattan. He's there, I think, filming a movie.
Of course he is.
Yes, he is.
He's a big deal.
He's right in the middle of NYC today, but he's going to try to pop in and join us. But you have been in Vegas for what, as long as Johnny, so nearly 15 years.
Yep, just about.
And you're a brilliant performer, you're a tribute artist, a singer, and you're all over the stages of Las Vegas. You and Kenny know each other because of this show at the Tuscany Suites,
Correct.
which we're going to talk about in just a moment. But tell me a little bit about what else you have coming up this fall, what you're most excited about, what kind of gigs are coming up for you.
So I'm in a show called Zombie Burlesque, which we talked about a little bit last week,
fun.
but I'm in the show on Wednesdays and Fridays, but it runs 6 days a week. They're dark or there's no show on Sunday night. And it's an 8 o'clock show at Planet Hollywood. It's so fun. So I do that.
The theater, right?
The V Theater. Yep. So I do that at Planet Hollywood. I'm also an impersonator. I do Taylor Swift and Christina Aguilera and Lady Gaga. So that I do a lot of corporate events.
Look at you.
Oh, that's me in Zombie Burlesque.
You are hot.
Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. I got the cuts. Yeah. So there's me as Taylor Swift. So I do a lot of corporate events. That was for GNC. And the other one was a concert, 90-minute concert. I have a full band, and so it's a lot of fun.
Number one song you're requested to sing of Taylor's?
Oh, Shake It Off for sure.
Okay.
Everyone loves Shake It Off. Do you have a favorite Taylor Swift
Yeah.
song?
Well, I went to the Eras tour.
What?
And yeah.
Here
Oh
in
yeah.
Vegas?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I got a T-shirt. I was down.
You got like a $100 T-shirt?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? How expensive are T-shirts at tours? Any tour. Justin Timberlake I went to, like $80 for a T-shirt.
God forbid you want a drink.
Oh my
too.
gosh.
Oh.
I can't.
It's a pricey endeavor.
Oh my Lord.
Don't you? Okay, we're just going to tell you something behind the scenes here in Las Vegas, and this is the truth. We can't believe how much you folks who visit Las Vegas spend when you travel here because things are
Oh,
so
my.
expensive. So expensive. Because
Yeah.
when you're local, it's all about knowing the deals, knowing all the free parking, the discount meals, the cheaper cocktails, right? We
Yeah,
know all
the off
tricks.
strip, off
Yeah.
strip restaurants.
Yep.
All the good stuff.
For sure. So anyway, I went to the Eras tour. I loved it. I was genuinely, and my husband went.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love that.
my husband went. My husband right now, my husband's older than I am. He has a Kelsey mustache.
Oh, okay.
He has a Travis Kelsey mustache. It's a
Oh.
thing. Did you know that?
Yep.
Right now?
Yep. The mustache is in. The big mustache
Yep.
it's in. It's
Oh.
back.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'll tell my husband. I don't know if he can grow one or not.
Has your husband ever had facial hair? See, now we're getting into
Well,
girl topics.
Yeah. Well, he's in Cirque du Soleil. He's an acrobat in Ka.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So he can't he
interesting.
pretty much has to shave his face like every
Oh.
couple, because they have like these full masks on.
Oh,
So he
wow.
can only get so scruffy, and then he has to shave his face because
Oh.
because it will rub against and like really hurt.
Oh, I love Ka.
Oh, it's
I
so
love
fun.
it so much. I think it's actually my favorite show.
Oh, yes, because
Yeah,
it has a
Cirque show.
story. Ka has a story. It's at MGM. It runs 10
Breathtaking.
shows a week, 2 shows a day, 5 days a week. It's grueling.
He must be in mad shape.
Oh yeah, he's.
Mad shape.
I did pretty good. Girl talk.
Cheers. We warned you.
Cheers
It's gonna
to
be real
that.
talk.
Cheers.
Yes, Cass.
Hi, Mr. Robbie. Thank you for joining us. William's here. Annie's here. All right. We have Dine Girl 1. Thank you so much for joining us, you
Oh,
guys.
cool.
We're
Yeah,
having
she
a
has
great
a
time.
nice comment. Love when I'm not working to get to see your show, but now school is going to start soon, so I have to watch again the repeat. But bet your teachers are proud of you. Thank you.
Aww.
So sweet. Thanks for being here.
Is she a teacher or is she a student? I love when I'm not working, so she must be a teacher.
Let us know, Dean girl, if you're a teacher or a student. It kind of sounds like you might be a teacher.
Oh my gosh,
Let us know.
teachers! Yes.
Yes.
Give it up for the teachers.
Yay.
We love you. I can't do that.
So, Taylor Swift,
Yes.
Christina Aguilera. Can we talk Christina for a moment?
Yes.
Because she was part of the inspiration behind the interview that I did last week. We had an owner of a big fashion store. It's called Baubles and Lace, based out of Los Angeles. It's really blown up online, and they have brick and mortar across the country too. But Lindsay Rose Rando was in town last week. I got a chance to talk to her, and it was super fun because having you in studio and the people that you impersonate, so Brittany and Christina, are actually the inspiration for a big wave of fashion that's coming back. And I mentioned it to you and Johnny last week. Wide-legged pants, low-rise pants.
No low
Yeah.
rise. Don't do it. Don't do it to me.
It's true. It's true. So I got a chance to talk with her last week. Can we watch it?
Yes.
Really quick?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
let's
this is
do it.
the owner of Baubles and Lace website. Check it out, guys. Baubles and Lace is an amazing retailer that has gone from, well, a pretty small outlet in downtown LA to a major operation across the country. Lindsay Rose Rando joins me now. Lindsay, great to chat with you.
Thank you so much for having me today. This is going to be fun. So, a couple times a year, there is a huge fashion convention where, God, I want to say hundreds of vendors come and they show off their goods for the coming season for all the different stores and buyers to come and buy from. So, this is like the Super Bowl of fashion that happens twice a year at Vegas. It's called Magic. It's not magic like a magic show, it's like funny out of a hat. It's all fashion.
We do love magic here in Las Vegas, though, and fashion for sure. So you wanted to talk about celebrity trends today, which I love. So I think celebrity, can we talk about it a moment? Because it's actually changing a bit. So Las Vegas has always been the entertainment capital of the world, but now even more and more so, we see A-listers like Lady Gaga, Adele, Christina Aguilera, Bruno Mars, just to name a few, having their residencies here. Also, Nashville sends a lot of its music artists here. I know you're picking up on the trend from Nashville in a big way. So what excites you?
Gosh, I think that we get to see a bunch of these new trends that all of these vendors are showing for the upcoming seasons. And being at the show the last 2 days, we really get a secret view of what's hot and what's in style. And what's really interesting about the next season, especially, is I think it's very reminiscent of these like 90s, 2000s pop stars. So we're seeing a ton of like low rise, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears style. So remember Christina Aguilera in the Dirty video? We're seeing pants and jackets just like it now. So fashion has always been influenced by music, by pop culture. And this year is really no different.
Wow.
Oh
All
my
right,
gosh.
there we go. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for the low-rise pants again. I used to have to wear like giant belts on my low-rise pants just to keep them from falling down.
I love it.
Do you remember that?
Yes, the big belt buckles. Yes.
Yeah.
With the rhinestones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to have rhinestones.
Oh.
Cass, do you remember that? I doubt it.
Oh,
Were you like 5?
I was young.
Yeah.
But I was growing up with that. So yep, I saw all of it.
Cass, let's see you on camera for a second. You gotta.
Hey girls.
You little off
your
the
over there,
shoulder
girlfriend.
number.
There she is.
we got a
Hey.
little off the shoulder number going on.
Yeah, producer
Cheers.
Cass. Cheers.
Let's,
Cheers. It's the girls show.
Woo woo.
Woo woo.
Oh yes. Oh, that one
Hey.
look at that with the yellow flower on it. The inside's yellow too. I love
So
that.
cute,
I
so
love that
cute.
one.
Very pretty.
Love.
All right, so speaking of Christina Aguilera, did you have the chance to see her at Voltaire?
I did, yes.
Oh, wow. This is the
Yes.
most gorgeous venue in Las Vegas. If there's any way you can go to Voltaire inside the Venetian, it is one of the most hottest, swankiest. I don't know, it's got a beautiful, kind of almost more of a private club vibe
Yes.
inside. But Christina opened this space. Tell me about the show.
It's amazing. I have actually a few friends in the show. One of the horn players, Michael Rabadon, is in the show. So
Yeah,
I got
Michael.
to see him in the show, and then I ended up because Michael was in the show, I ended up meeting her piano player and her drummer, and I was like, this is so cool. Like
No
it was
way.
awesome to meet them, and they were just so like nonchalant, just like, oh hey, I'm about to perform a show with Christina Aguilera. I'm like, that's so cool. Tell me about her. But it was
I want to know everything.
I want to know everything. And then we had just gotten in, like they had like a general admission where you just can kind of stand in the back,
Yes.
so you can get an actual table.
Which is actually fine because the tables up front are super pricey.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can just stand in the back and watch a show, which that's what we were doing, and it was fine. But I was like, you know what? Me and my girlfriends were there, and we were like, let's just go to the front and just ask. Because I looked and I said, there's a lot of empty tables. I was like, they probably want to fill them. So inside scoop, never hurts to just ask. Just ask.
Politely.
Yes, yes. And
When in
maybe
doubt.
a 20 or a 50 wouldn't have help, wouldn't hurt either. I didn't do that. But we just went up. We were like, hey, we're friends with some of the band members, and none of the band members told us to do this, but hey, could you just, if you have an empty table, we would love to just sit there and, support our friends. And they were like, let's see what we can do. Yep, here you go. Take them to table 15.
Wow.
Walked us right down. Never hurts to ask in Las Vegas for
Oh my
a little
gosh.
bit of extra free stuff, a little bit of, whatever you can do to get a little bit closer. They can always say no.
So
Right.
my technique is always to ask super politely
Yes.
and nicely.
Yes.
I just had to use that a lot. As you know, I was just traveling for several weeks, and there was multiple situations trying to get into a restaurant. I had my dog with me, so I had to ask for all kinds of special permission. And my whole concept is kind of like you get back what you give, right? So if you go up and you ask and you're humble and you're polite, you're gonna get a better return than if you go up and you're demanding or you're a jerk, right?
Yes.
You're gonna
Right.
get turned away from any ask. My husband has a totally different technique. So it's what you mentioned really quick with slipping a bill. He is like, Las Vegas is a $20 town.
Oh,
So it's all about going up to the maitre d' and going, we would love to get a table a little sooner.
Near the window.
Than later, and 20 in the hand. I don't think he's ever had anyone turn down the money either. What's interesting.
that's surprising.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people cannot accept tips here. Some. I've been
Yeah.
to places where I'm like, dude, they were like, do not tip me. Do not tip me. If
Really?
I take this, then I will get in trouble. Or if I take this, I'm gonna
Wow.
have to put it in the pot with everybody else. So they basically get
Well,
nothing.
There is that, like the community pot. I know that was the way. Have you ever waitressed?
No.
Waited tables. That was the way it was at one of the restaurants I waited tables at. So, yeah, it's interesting. Everyone had to pool and then split up. So
Yes.
it's kind of that Starbucks technique.
So he always gets
Yeah.
that 20 in, and it always
Yeah,
works for
I
him.
mean, it seems to,
Yeah,
it makes
does.
sense.
It does.
Right? Some of these lines are super competitive.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
So you have the nice aspect, and he has the here's a 20.
Yes.
Give us what
and,
we want.
And those two things together should
perfect combo.
hopefully
Yeah.
help grease the wheels, as they say
There
in
you
Las
go.
Vegas. But I've been turned
Fun
down
fact.
plenty of times, right?
Yeah, I mean, but it never
Yeah.
hurts to ask. If
It
they say
doesn't hurt to
no,
ask.
guess what? They go on their way, you go on your way, you do what you were going to do anyway, and it's going to be a great night
Exactly.
regardless. You're in Las Vegas, you're going to have a fun time. But tip, always ask.
Yes, that's true. Exactly. Of all the women that you impersonate, who do you think is actually the most skilled performer?
Lady
Who-
Gaga.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Love Gaga.
I love
Gaga.
Christina. Don't get me wrong, I love Christina, and I learned to sing off of Christina, which if you're a professional singer, you know that's not always the best way to sing. Christina she screams, she's a belter. And that is a style of singing. It is if it's the correct way of singing, it's, partial to
she
who
can
you-
maintain
who
it
you
though.
ask.
That's what's,
Well,
or does
she
she
can't-
have to
no.
do vocal rest?
Yes, I've noticed during her concert too, she won't sing the whole song, and it's a joke of me and one of my girlfriends. We're like, "Sing the song, Christina," because she vocally can't sing the whole song because it's so challenging, and she's made it so challenging. She can't get through the whole song, which is fine. She has her own way. That is her style, which is great. But Lady Gaga is just she plays guitar, she dances. She plays the piano. She sings. She's done opera. Did you see her do the Sound of Music when she was on the what was it? The Emmys or the I forget what it was. But she is just uber. She can sing every style.
I would think you would say
jazz.
that.
She does. She did a jazz album. She does
Yep.
pop. She sings and dances. I mean, not just like half does these dances. I mean, she is full out dancer.
Well,
Keeps up with. Have you ever seen her?
She's like a theater kid. She's just
Right.
so intensely committed. Have I
Yes.
ever seen what?
Have you ever seen Lady Gaga in concert?
Oh yeah, jazz and piano. So I've seen both her concerts here in Las Vegas.
Oh, you saw
in the
the
last 8
Enigma
years.
too?
Yeah, I saw Enigma.
gee.
It's funny. I thought she just really was on fire in the jazz and piano. Enigma, I just didn't love it so much.
Really?
Yeah, they started the show out. I also saw it the first night. So I think the show was maybe potentially evolving, but I don't know. It opened with like 5 minutes of like a robot, and I don't know. I liked the piano section when she got on the piano.
Oh,
I was like,
she's
okay,
just-
now I'm here for this. But otherwise, it just wasn't the way I like to see her as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably why she stopped it.
Right.
Because she doesn't do
Right.
it anymore. She just does the jazz and piano show now. Which is out of control.
Which this last time she had her performance of it, just a few weeks ago, she said, "Okay, I'm going to come back to you probably with a new show."
Oh,
So-
a new jazz and piano show, or
Well,
a new
we don't know. It's kind of a ... At least I don't know. I'm sure we have friends who know. But yeah,
Did you
I'm
hear her new
anxious to
song?
see. With Bruno Mars.
my
it's
God.
so good.
Can we all freak out for a minute? Pass me that camera. Let's all
I
freak out.
love it. I love it.
Oh, this is how we feel about Lady Gaga's son,
Bruno
Bruno
Mars.
Mars. Oh my gosh.
Give me more. Can we? So
I love
we've
it.
heard we have some insider scoop
What?
that it might be a 3-song EP with them.
Well, what I was hoping when I first saw the thumbnail of them in my Instagram feed is I was hoping that they obviously have crossed paths at the Dolby Live Theater at Park MGM, because
Right.
it's where both their shows have been for several years. I was hoping maybe they would do a concert together.
That would be amazing.
I would freak out.
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine the
Amazing.
price of that concert? To see them by themselves is astronomical. To see
Yeah.
them together, I mean, they would.
Yeah.
They could. Oh my gosh! I mean, put them at the stadium, please.
Yeah.
Oh
I know,
my
right?
gosh!
Wouldn't that be great?
Yes.
Have you
Yeah.
seen? Did you see Bruno's residency?
Oh, yeah, I've seen Bruno 3 times.
I'm so
Bruno-
jealous. I'm
Bruno,
gonna go so
Bruno
fast.
Mars, I've said this so much, people who watch me on TV probably get tired of me saying it. It's my favorite show in Las Vegas.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Bruno.
Yeah. I love Bruno.
Yes.
I just do. And I love how he creates like a party. I love that he makes you put your cell phone away.
Oh.
I'm all about people who make you put your cell phone away and be present in the room. By the way, speaking of people I love and I'm obsessed with, I don't know if you're on board for this, but September 1st, Chelsea Handler
Oh, I
is
just saw that.
opening. Chelsea at the Chelsea.
Chelsea at the Chelsea.
I'm freaked out
I
about
just
that
saw
show.
the billboard when I was driving here.
I am so excited. She's the most fierce comedian. I can't wait to see her on stage, and I know she's going to rock it. And we have a guest.
Johnny?
Kenny Davidson
Oh,
is
Kenny,
here.
it's 12:35 already?
Yes.
So excited. Back to the fantasy football talking.
Oh
and,
my
and
gosh.
about his show. We want to
Kenny.
talk about your show too, Kenny.
Okay, sounds good.
Kenny
Huh?
is
How are you?
currently drafting a league right now, Kenny, right?
I just finished a game, so
You're just finishing? Okay. How did
Kenny, what
I just-
number of team are you on? By the way, I've been really making one of our viewers mad because I keep saying that you have 100 leagues, but in fact you're going for 100 teams this
But I
year.
do
Is
have
that correct?
a team and a league are the same thing. I
Yes,
have 100,
yeah.
I'm in 100 leagues. I have 100 teams in 100 leagues. I run 67 of the 100 leagues. And
Oh my God.
He's
What?
the commissioner, so he
Yeah.
puts it all together.
He won 67.
No.
No. I run.
He
no, no.
runs them.
He runs. I thought you said you won. I thought you were referencing your success last year.
Oh, he can tell you about his.
If I won 67 of the 100, I'd have a bigger house. I promise you.
Your house is lovely, though, and thank you for inviting us into it. Before we talk about football, which I'm very excited to learn from you, and I'm excited to listen to your podcast with Christina, can we talk about your stage time? Because you're a prolific performer, an amazing musician. I love what you're doing at the Tuscany Suites on Friday night. Sounds like you, I don't know, are kind of inviting your talented friends up on stage with you.
Pretty much. It's we have one host every week. The host brings in their kind of set of friends and people that they hang out with that are professional entertainers. And then we have a bunch of regular professionals that come and sing, and it's become a place where entertainers can hobnob and meet people and get up there and sing. And we make it a no judgment zone. So you get to go up there and experiment and try things, and we're not going to give you a hard time for that.
Any guy that likes to hobnob is all right by me, Kenny. Christina knows a lot about you. You guys are really good friends. You've been doing this podcast for 5 seasons. But I have so much to learn about you. I've definitely heard your name around town. So I know who you are. I know that you're often at Monday's Dark, and that you've been in town for a while. You're an East Coaster originally, right?
Born and raised in New York City, Brooklyn, New York. I moved
What's
here.
that like? Don't you feel like Brooklyn has gotten really, really more like bougie and popular over the last decade?
Apparently, it did after I left. The neighborhood Williamsburg became this big hub of artists, And it certainly wasn't when I was there. It all happened when I was gone. I'm like, where was this when I lived here? What happened? You
Yeah,
know?
but when you came here, Kenny, and I say that, and a lot of people say this about Kenny, he changed Las Vegas and how the performers get together and how we go to his show and how we all know each other. And he has changed Las Vegas. And I swear that if you are a local or not a local, I know some non-locals are watching the show, when you come to Vegas, if you go check out his show at the Tuscany, you will see everyone from every show in Las Vegas comes to Kenny's show. We all come together and we just have the most epic time. You will get a free show. Of course.
Free?
Free. Yeah, it is free.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yes, it is free. You walk in. I mean, obviously, please get a drink. Please tip your bartenders and your waitresses. But it is a free show. And you will see everybody from every show on the Strip come together and just have the most amazing time. Sing. Sometimes there's themed nights.
Oh, good.
When I hosted, I did songs that started, because I just had a baby. I said, everybody has to sing a song where the word baby is in the lyrics.
Love that.
So
Love
sometimes
that.
there's theme nights. Sometimes there's, I think, Kenny, your last one, didn't you just do recently like the Broadway night was from Monday's Dark, right?
So for our 11th anniversary, my friend Joe had this long-term idea about everybody should get up there and sing the song they hate the most. So we decided
Oh my
to
gosh.
do that. I medleyed two songs, which is because the song I hate the most is a tie between Great Balls of Fire and Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh, horrible.
But the whole night was hits. It was I Will Survive. Although my friend Sage decided to do My Humps by Black Eyed Peas, which
My hump, my hump. My
Man,
lovely lady loves.
and I didn't know that song going in, but I sure know it now. Holy cow.
And do you hate it? Do you hate it now, Kenny?
I don't hate it. It takes a lot for me to hate something, but wow, there's a song. Okay.
Yeah, that was an
song.
interesting one.
Yeah. But
Well,
so we,
you know
we,
what's-
we yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I think what's fun about what you're doing with this Friday night at Tuscany Suites. By the way, Tuscany Suites is what you would say about 2 blocks east of the Las Vegas Strip, very near to the Virgin Hotel.
That's correct.
It's a great spot. Locals, we all know it for sure, for different reasons, dining or the entertainment space, or it's a place you have friends stay a lot of times, so you've been there to pick people up or whatever. But what's fun about what you're doing? So, like Christina's husband is doing 10 shows a week with Cirque du Soleil. Right?
Yeah, 10
I mean,
shows.
that is 10 of the same shows a week. So he's on a treadmill of
gosh.
doing the same
Yeah.
show. Your show that you're doing on Friday nights, it's got to be just totally different every week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I admire the people that can do the same show 10 times a week because I don't think I could do that.
Same.
I created this, and I also work at a piano bar called Don't Tell Mama, and it's the same thing where I don't know where I'm going to get on a certain night. I don't know what people are going to come up and request. I don't know what people are going to request of me. And then Monday's Dark, we do a different theme every 2 weeks. So I'm constantly learning new things and doing something different. And that's what I think keeps me.
Oh, we lost him for a sec.
I'm
There
here.
you are.
Yeah, pause for a sec. That's what keeps it fresh for me is the fact that I get to do something different every single time. I admire the people that can do the same thing over and over again. I don't think I could handle that.
No, I
It's
don't
not
think
the way
I
my
could
brain
either.
works.
I'm the same way.
Have you been to see him at the piano bar?
Yes. Oh, Don't Tell Mamas. Yeah, and that's downtown. Is that technically on Fremont Street, Kenny, or no?
It is on Fremont Street. Is in Neonopolis. If you walk by Denny's,
Yes.
you go into that corridor, and that's where we are.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of fun. People love piano bars, for sure. The amazing thing I know about you, without having seen you perform live, Kenny, is that you must be a catalog of songs, because when you work at a piano bar, people throw out requests at you nonstop.
All night long. That's how I make my money.
Yeah.
So I better know songs, and I learn new songs. What's great though is
So good.
we keep up with modern stuff. So I had to learn Please, 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 Please by Sabrina Carpenter recently, and I'm glad because now we're playing that on a weekly basis. and I like that with my show too. If I keep with the people I book is they keep me on my toes, which is great. I want to keep.
Have you
being
learned the
fresh
new?
and-
Have you
Yeah,
learned
go ahead.
the new Lady Gaga Bruno Mars song? We were just
I
talking
have.
about it earlier.
I've already
Of
learned
course
it.
you did.
You have?
Yeah,
Of course.
that was a smile. Fantastic song.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good. You
Yeah.
like a new song, Kenny? No, I'm just kidding.
I love new songs. Wow. You like songs before 1985? Wow.
That was a dig. Although I have to say, I've literally had this come out of my mouth in the last 48 hours. The 80s was such good music.
He loves
I
the
mean,
80s.
the 80s were great.
Loves
Let's
the
talk
80s.
about it.
If you look at the charts from 1983 and 1984, and you look at the list of songs that were big that year, they're all still famous. Like every single one of them.
Prince,
Total Eclipse of the
Madonna.
Hearts, Down Under, Time After Time, Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I mean, these are Material Girl. These are all still iconic songs to this day. It's a great era of music.
He loves it. He loves
It is truly a great era of music. I always hope that music is, getting better. And occasionally, like when songs like Bruno and Gaga's song comes out, I think, oh yeah, like, songwriting and music is still alive. But then I get a little discouraged because I feel like so many things are like auto-tuned and
Sampled.
just kind of sampled. But I don't know. Should I have hope? There's still great music being made.
Well, the Lady Gaga Bruno Mars song. The other day, I just heard Kenny. Are you familiar? There's a country song that samples David Bowie's "Rebel Rebel."
I haven't heard that yet. Okay.
And I was like, this is Rebel Rebel, and it's not even the title of the country song is not Rebel Rebel, but I was like, this is a that
Right.
riff throughout the whole song. I'm like, can we just make some original songs again? There are so many covers and samples, and so it was very refreshing to just hear a fresh new song from Lady Gaga and Bruno.
Well, when you hear people like Billie Eilish and Lizzo and Harry Styles, I think there's a lot of hope. There's some tremendous stuff out there right now. And, every era, the people complain about the good stuff and then all the dreck that's out there. But every era's got their classics, and music's still reinventing itself. And I think it's in a very healthy place.
Super realistic and honestly really refreshing. Because if I think about the generation prior to me and how they were like, oh my God, no one's writing songs like Bob Dylan or Crosby, Stills and Nash anymore. And like, to me, it's like, it's a bit overplayed at this point. We need to move on.
Yes, I do not like when people say that. Like,
You know
I
what
think
I
they're
mean?
just stuck in their own
Yeah,
ways.
they're stuck in, it's like being stuck with the same haircut for 30 years.
Yep, those people
Right?
probably still have the mullets.
Right.
Yes. Like, let's
Don't you think, Kenny?
broaden our horizons here.
It's an age thing. People
Yes.
are very comfortable with what they know, and they get to an age where they don't want to have to learn new things, and they don't want to accept it. But music is doing just fine. And you look at Gaga and Bruno. I love Billie Eilish. I think Billie Eilish is.
I love Billie Eilish. So
Yeah.
I used to be in an improv class with her mom. Her mom
Wow.
is a super talented actress, improviser. By the way, speaking of actors, I believe we have a gentleman who's about to join us from Manhattan. Johnny D, is that you?
Johnny!
That's me. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Beautiful. Greetings from New York. The Wi-Fi is out at the hotel, so that's why you see me on my iPhone.
Welcome to New York.
Oh my God,
I-
thanks
yeah,
for
exactly.
the view.
Yeah,
We
I
have
figured
Kenny
you'd
Davidson
enjoy
with
that.
us.
I know.
Do you
I
see
can see
Kenny?
him. Hey, Kenny. I can play.
What's up,
This
John?
setup is great. This setup is great.
This is awesome.
Yeah. Hi, Cass.
Hello, how
I know,
are
let's-
you?
let's get
We
Cass
miss
in the
you.
corner
Cass,
there.
Cass.
Yes,
Miss
get
you.
yourself in there.
How's it going?
Good. It's a
Well,
little
we've
hot
just been
here.
chatting. We've been chatting with Kenny, but give us an idea of what you're doing. We told people you're working on a project. You're right in downtown Manhattan. What's going on
Right.
today?
Well, there's no such thing as downtown Manhattan. It's Midtown Manhattan.
Oh, jeez.
Ah.
Excuse us.
Wow.
There's downtown Chicago, but there's no downtown.
Hey, you know
New
what?
York.
I'm just a West Coast girl who's doing my best. So thanks for schooling me. It's not like I'm from Brooklyn or anything.
I'm working on a film and I'm done my shooting. and I figured I'd come into New York and see friends and family while I'm here before I fly out tomorrow. So I'm just having a little social connection with La Familia. So
That's excellent. I love it. How'd the project go?
it went
Oh.
as you know.
He's going to
it's
spill the
these-
tea.
It's the zenith of my career. I'll say it. I'm not going to show the photos, but I was Trump, but I was baby Trump. So they sprayed me from head to toe in orange paint, and I wore a diaper and the wig, and I had to fight zombie President Biden. So it was a very high level, high class, A-list production.
So Kenneth Branagh's involved.
Oh yes, all the big English actors are involved. Yes, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
my Atlanta.
So you're drinking the tea. Oh,
Yes,
that's so
and
cool.
we're spilling the tea.
Yes.
Oh,
Cheers.
that's so
Yes.
awesome.
You should have a teacup, Kenny.
And-
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Kenny,
And
it's-
we spent the first 20 minutes talking about football, Johnny. We're
Football.
all getting ready for
On the girls'
fantasy
show.
football season. For real.
wow. Well,
Yeah.
did you discuss the fact that there is a date now for the Tropicana implosion?
Oh,
no.
do tell.
Well, it's 2:30 a.m. on October 8th, and our friend Murray Saltchuk and some other people are getting a room at the MGM Grand to celebrate across from it, so you can watch from there. So
Wow.
if we want to chip in, we can all be with the Murray gang.
Should we bring gas masks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
let's go.
never know. You never know with
Oh.
those things.
Yeah,
The
jeez.
asbestos
It's
in the
scary
air.
to be that
Well,
close.
that is super exciting. I'm all about being there. I love that they're doing it at 2:30 in the morning. I think, every decade or so, there's an implosion in Las Vegas. You don't want to miss it. This is like book a trip.
They're
worthy.
pretty amazing. Yeah, they're pretty
Kenny,
amazing.
have
to
you
see.
ever been here for an implosion?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it was here when the Riviera went down a couple of years ago. So that's a thing. It's a biggest event.
It's a rite of passage if you live in Las Vegas to go to an implosion.
Did they take the sign down yet? Because did you see them taking the Mirage sign down and they had it on a flatbed to the Neon Museum, which if you are not a local, please visit the Neon Museum. It is
Absolutely.
so
We're big
fun.
fans, and they're moving it, right? They're putting it on top of a building, from what I saw. A perspective, like a possible idea where they're going to put it now.
You're talking about moving the Neon Museum. Yeah, there was
They're
an announcement in the local paper just within the last month that they're considering moving the Neon Museum to the Arts District. But I think the exact location of which I'm not sure it's yet decided, but
Right,
they're
and
kinda
but
honing in on that.
yeah, the blueprint. Well, an artist rendering shows it on top of a building in the Arts District. So you would go up to the roof, and there'd be a restaurant up there, and then you would just walk around. It would be a little bit different, but it would be a great location to have it in the Arts District for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that Arts District is just hot, hot, hot. Oh, Johnny, you're breaking up. It must be the signal mid.
It must be the signal.
Nice.
Well, I'll jump off, but I just wanted to say hi and check in. And for the 13th JJ and Johnny show with my close friend and practically family, Christina Shaw, and my other good friend, JJ, and my right arm, who's manning this thing and producing it, Cass. So I feel like I'm calling into a family event at this point.
Oh,
You are, Johnny. We love you. We miss you. Yeah. Best of luck. Say hello to the familia, huh?
See ya. Bye, Kenny. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Johnny. We miss you.
Oh, that was fun.
Great.
Was that cool? Hey, Kenny, we play a little game called Vegas Fact or Fiction. You want to play with us?
Go.
Oh, he's gonna get mine.
All right.
In an instant, but you
All
go
right.
first.
This is a question about Vegas or Vegas history, and we're going to roll one on you right now. In honor of my special guest today, Christina Shaw, I picked a question about Christina Aguilera. All right? I'm going to let Kenny answer. Oh, do that again. That was Gina Bono.
Hey.
See, if I was requesting a song from her, I'd have to say, yeah, that would probably be my
Really?
go-to.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was a great
OG.
era.
The OG, yeah.
right?
1999.
Okay, The Experience with Christina Aguilera opened in 2019, Kenny, at Planet Hollywood, and shut down after 24 performances. What was the month and date it shut down, and why did it shut down?
It shut down March 14th, 2020 because of COVID.
That's what I was going to say. Is that right?
No
Dude,
way.
Well, you're
March 17th,
Right.
2020.
no, you're so right. March 7th of 2020 because of COVID.
Yeah.
It was supposed to
Oh
run
my
through the end of the
gosh.
year, but March 7th was their last show. And in retrospect, Kenny, I don't know about you, but my show went virtual on March 16th. I don't know what was happening to you that week, but I was like, wow, in a way, they kind of called it a week early.
Yeah.
Because they kind of saw what was happening.
Jeez.
We kept going until the end, and I remember we had Linnea Myers was the last host before COVID, and we had a wiping mic song that we kind of incorporated for the night, like a little thing, just to remind people to get up there and wipe the mic.
Oh my gosh,
Yep.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Which a lot of us still do now, which is a good practice.
Now, not a bad thing. That's one good thing that came out of this.
Yes, everybody needs.
I think the last 2 or 3 shows I did on the morning show before we went virtual, my co-host and I, they literally, here, go that way. They literally measured 6
Right.
feet between
Oh my
us.
gosh.
And we did the show like this.
Jeez.
You didn't have a plexiglass between you? That would have been better.
I
That
know,
probably
right?
would've been-
I
'cause,
feel like it would.
like, even right
so
here,
skinny, you
right,
wouldn't see it
like-
that much.
Yeah, you wouldn't see it. It probably would look
Yeah.
way more natural than just being like, "Hi over there, how are you?"
Kenny, you guys,
Right.
I know you're busy with all your teams, but do you have time for just one more question?
Go.
Okay, ready?
Here we go.
What is the most iconic and highest grossing Las Vegas residencies?
Oh.
Of all time,
Yes.
Celine Dion.
Yep.
That's what I would have said too.
She's actually
Yep.
takes the #1 and the #2 spot.
Oh, wow.
Because she did her residency, first she did it for 3 years, and then it extended for 2 years from 2003 to 2007, and then she did it from 2011 to 2019. So that was the second highest grossing. Who
Wow.
was the third?
Woo. Wayne Newton?
No, I'll give you a hint. It's very, very new within the last 2 years. Residency
Adele.
in the last 2 years.
Bruno Mars.
Nope. You too.
Oh, the Sphere.
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
they're making that much money.
Isn't that crazy?
There you go. That's great. I wouldn't have said that. That's great.
$244.5 million.
Woo.
For
Which
you
is
two.
good because there's a lot of LED lights.
Yeah. Have you been to the Sphere?
I was there opening night with you too. Yeah, it blows my mind.
Have you
I
been
need
there,
to go.
Kenny? To the Sphere?
I have not. I need to go. I'm dying to go.
Cass?
I haven't. I want
I don't
to
have.
go.
I don't
though.
have a. I don't have a firstborn to sell though to get a ticket. So
I do.
Kenny, that's no excuse because you can at least go to Postcard from Earth.
What's that? And tell us what that is.
That's
Oh,
the film that is played during the afternoons. It's like a
It's like an Earth documentary,
yeah,
right?
kind of an Earth documentary kind of film that they made for more of a family-friendly show that plays when the concerts aren't playing.
Does it play? Is this like an every hour thing, or is this just
A few
once
a
a
day.
day?
I think it's like 3 or 4 shows in a day.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's not quite the same as seeing a musical artist.
Well.
Like the excitement isn't quite at the same level, but it's worth it to see the space, I'd say.
And it's fairly inexpensive? Or have you gone?
Yes, I've been. Nothing is super inexpensive, right? I think when it comes to the Sphere, but it's much more reasonable. Yep. Oh yeah, it's super cool. And then you gotta talk to the robots out in the lobby.
Oh, I heard about
It's
that.
very
Oh, I've
cool.
seen that.
It's actually really cool.
They're like the waitresses and stuff, right? Aren't they waitresses too? Don't they bring you drinks?
I didn't have a waitress that was a robot. That would be neat. I just talked to the ones that are in the lobby, and they talk back to you.
How's that again?
It's really.
How's that again? Stupid. That's good. That's good.
Kenny, you think we could have an act down on Fremont Street?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah. It took you way too long to answer that.
I'd pay $1 to see that.
$1? Ah.
Okay, we love you. Thank
Maybe
you for
two.
joining us. We want people to know where they can watch or listen to rather, your fantasy football podcast, Kenny.
It's called Our Vegas Fantasy with your co-host Christina Shaw. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, I believe on YouTube. We download a new episode every single week. And then you can come and listen to us and tell us how wrong we are every single week.
Or how right we are.
We're never right. Let's be fair.
No, we are. Sometimes we're right. And Kenny has 100 leagues, and his percentage of winning last year was very, very high, right, Kenny? How many leagues did you win last year?
I won 9, came in second in 8, but I made a profit, and that's all I can ask for.
That's what you have time real quick. Kenny, can you tell, I want you to tell JJ Cass and the viewers about your Circa League that you did. He also did a Circa League.
Was he in Circa?
So tell the viewers about your league and what it was all about.
Circa's got a contest called the Circa Survivor Pool. Last year, there were 9,000 entries into it at $1,000 per entry, which meant the prize pool was $9 million, and it's winner take all, $9 million. What you have to do is you have to pick a team every week. You can't use that team again for the rest of the year, and you have to pick it all through the end of the season. And if you survive, you win $9 million. We got down to week 16.
Wow.
And we lost because the Denver Broncos, who were a touchdown favorite at home against one of the worst teams in football, the New England Patriots, lost to the New England Patriots. So we lost right then and there, but we got down to week 16. We were of the last 10 people, and we had the winners in the last 4 weeks. So we would have, had Denver won, we would have split $9 million with a few other people that made it.
Oh my gosh!
Blame it on Denver.
I know. Yeah,
yes, blame it on Denver.
How many fantasy football Denver players are you taking this year?
I know, right?
Gotta
be
play
hard.
to win. I mean, gotta brush it off and forget it all happened, right? So, if Denver players are good, you gotta take them.
Kenny is an amazing fantasy football player, and he's so much fun to do the podcast with. So you will learn a lot on our Vegas fantasy. And we hope you listen too, JJ.
I have a lot to learn. Thank you. I'm inspired.
JJ invited me, maybe her and I will go in on a fantasy football circa one, right? For women of fantasy.
Oh, they have that. They just did that draft this year. That's fun. I know a few people in that draft. Jen Piacenti's in that draft. I think Dana Roselli did it a couple years ago. So yeah, you absolutely belong in that. That'd be great.
We should totally do that.
I did it last year with Dana. She actually, I think, came in second or third. She did pretty well last year.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, awesome.
So, all right, thanks, Kenny. Have a great day.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Bye, Kenny.
Bye, Kenny.
Bye. All right.
Good
Cass, do you have a
stuff.
Vegas Fact or Fiction?
No, I don't. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No worries. I know. I thought maybe you were pulling up some trivia on your phone. So,
Nope, I do not have one.
That's all right. I didn't have one last week.
yeah. No,
So-
two's good.
Yeah.
Two's good.
We
for
did
sure.
good. We did good.
Oh my gosh. This has been so much fun.
So much fun.
It
Yay.
really has. I'm
Cheers.
glad we could have Johnny in and
Cheers.
Kenny
I know.
and
fun
T.
episode.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much for watching this special episode 13 with Christina Shaw, Kenny Davidson, John DiDomenico, producer Cass. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Cass, what's coming up next week?
What do we have going on next week?
Is Johnny here next week?
I think Johnny's still gone next week. I don't know. He's got such a busy schedule.
Are you here next week? There's going to be nobody here.
No,
It's just going to be me now hosting the JJ and Johnny show because they're so busy.
Christina
And I'm
show.
just going to be like, hi, it's the JJ and Johnny show. Both of them are not here, so it's Christina.
We've amazingly kept it going every Tuesday at noon. It's Las Vegas's favorite morning show at noon. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
We'll see you guys
Thanks
next
for having
week.
me, JJ.
Yay!
Have a great week, y'all. We'll see ya.